Raw has just finished and Gunther has won the World Heavyweight Championship. I honestly didn't think this would happen. Like, I can see this going various directions. Like, you can have uh, Seth cash in the Night of Champions match against CM Punk and John Cena, maybe winning the title there. Maybe CM Punk beats Cena or he's close to, and Seth cashes in, becomes the undisputed champion. And the thing is, a Cody versus Cena feud doesn't really like need the title. Like, you can still have Cody versus Cena at SummerSlam, but just have it be a non-title match, and have Seth versus Punk for the WWE Championship, where you can have either Punk win or have Seth retain, have Roman Reigns returns, and that way you can set up a program for Seth and Roman for the Undisputed Championship. With Gunther, I think eventually the plan would be to either have Sammy or either have LA Knight beating Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship, maybe at WrestleMania. Because I think right now there were reports that Goldberg is injured, so maybe if Goldberg is fit by SummerSlam season, you do a Gunther versus Goldberg for the World Heavyweight Championship there, and from there you move on. It's just that I think now things have shifted. I think if Seth Rollins wins the WWE Championship, you can have Seth take the Undisputed Championship to Raw, and you can then have the draft and put Gunther on SmackDown. You can do that also. I think only problem is that I don't see them having Cody without a title for WrestleMania. I just can't see it. I can't see them having Cody without a title right now. Like, maybe, like, I'm just baffled. I didn't think Gunther would win. I think what will happen will that both Gunther and Jay would be laying down. Maybe some kick out happened or some rope break happened, and then you'll have Seth burn it down and come into the ring and cash in his money in the bank. When Gunther won, I was like, how does this make sense? But then the story that they have told is that Jay wearing himself out does make sense. Like, Gunther has been warning him over weeks that Jay, do not get yourself involved in other people's business. It will cost you, it will make things easier for me. And it did make things easier for him, because in the end, Gunther did beat Jay, but it was more that Jay just didn't have the strength to go on. Like, you can tell the story, you can say that Jay didn't get slow in the ring because of the storyline. He got slow because he's just not that good. But you can play into the storyline that Jay was not that energetic. Like, Jay was not like that 100% because he had been getting wore out. So you can do that story. Like, right now, that means probably either you just have Goldberg return and have Gunther versus Goldberg straight away at NOC, because otherwise I don't see like what does Gunther do. Like, Gunther can have another rematch against Jay, but do you really want that rematch to happen right now? Like, maybe give Jay a break or have him do something else right now. One thing that I didn't like is how CM Punk and Sammy were just back. They didn't acknowledge that they got their ass beat last week by Seth and his faction, and they didn't show up at Money in the Bank, but then they showed up just 2 days after. You could have done that in a simple way in kayfabe wise. Just say, like, have a line by Michael Cole that medical only cleared them to come back on Raw, but they didn't. And it kind of feels like what CM Punk and Sammy just forgot about what they have been involved with Seth Rollins since WrestleMania, and they have just forgotten about it. Like, CM Punk has just gone towards John Cena, like he has just forgotten about Cena. One thing I like that CM Punk and John Cena segment, like John Cena in this segment, of course, as a heel, he's still a little bit like over the top. It doesn't really like suit him. But the lines that he said, like, it was essentially Triple H talking to us that, you did all that just to get a comedy sensation back. He will be nothing here, like, and why don't you bring me any more serious challengers? And then Punk came out, and Punk was like, you know what, I didn't sell my soul. I'm not here to like be the establishment. Like I've always been against the establishment. Like more things change, more things remain the same. And he was essentially that I will become a monster to beat the monster, which is John Cena. It was a good promo, maybe not to the levels that I would have expected from a CM Punk John Cena. It still felt a little bit watered down, PG-ish, but I think that's because you have both in roles that you don't really expect, and also even the WWE product also is a little bit watered down. So it was still a good promo. Like CM Punk essentially saying he did want to win the world championship coming back because he knows what the title does. And unlike Cena, he didn't turn to the dark side. He didn't sell his soul to a bald fraud. So he's like he's coming for the title. And Cena essentially said that only way you're coming for my title is if you have like if you face me in so CM Punk is going to face John Cena at Night of Champions. Like Cena essentially dangling that if you want a title shot, like you have to come at me at Saudi Arabia. Like playing the lines between kayfabe and reality that Saudi is a moral issue to CM Punk, and the match was confirmed later on the night. But I do think what's gonna happen is Sarodi come. Uh, Probably CM Punk is going to get. Yeah. I do think what's going to happen is that probably Seth's faction will take out Punk, and he's probably going to get replaced by Ron Killings, because you had an R-Truth promo also where after Bailey returned, like let's talk about that. It was a good segment. I would probably say that the crowd didn't do any favors because Bailey returned and she didn't get a pop, even though the return was good, the story has been good. Like they gave good reactions to Lynch and Lara Valkyria. Like Valkyria still felt a little bit more over dramatic in her expressions, but that's the way she is, so you can't really like fault her on that. Like Lynch was essentially being a gaslighter, that she was like she was just doing it for the betterment of Lyra and everything, but then Lyra came out, then Bailey attacked, and it looks like from the end of the segment that Lyra didn't really know that Bailey was coming back. So I think this is probably setting up a triple threat. Like maybe at Evolution, I think this is going to be the match, because how long the card is going to be at NOC. You have Cena versus Punk, which is going to get turned into Cena versus Truth. You'll have the two King and Queen of the Ring finals. You'll probably get Jacob Fatu also having a match there. Like maybe you'll have 7 matches. Like they generally like have more than 5 matches at Saudi. Let's see what happens. And after that, you had our Truth coming out, and he essentially said that it was because of the fans that he has come back, and that he actually feels alive right now, and that uh, he like the truth has set him free, that he's no longer the comedy side character which Cena was referring in his promo, that he is no longer our truth, he is Ron Killings, and he cut his dreads, so essentially he's like now bald. But I like this new truth, like serious character. Like this is his last run, everyone knows, and him having a serious last run is, I think, good for him and good for the company too. And he has always had that serious character in him. We saw that in 2012, 2011, they just didn't go with it because he got too good with the comedy stuff, and also they had other people. But for a last run, like let him do the serious stuff. He makes money, you make money, and then things end on a good note. Overall, Raw was very good. Like the two fatal four-way matches that happened, I didn't expect like those people that who won the match to go forward. Like Sami Zayn won the fatal four-way because LA Knight interfered, and Braun couldn't like win the match because of that, and it made sense. So I think this will probably lead to LA facing Seth at Clash of Champions, maybe at in a non-title match. Maybe we will see that. You had Sami like hit Dom with the Helluva kick and then win the match. After the match, you had the Karen Cross Sami Zayn storyline also running there. Like Karen Cross accused Sami of using LA Knight to win, but Sami was like, I didn't win because of LA Knight. I won because I can beat. I have the ability to beat all these people. I think the Karrion versus Sami feud will probably kick off after Sami loses either in the semi-finals or in the finals. Then we'll probably have the Karrion versus Sami feud because this feud has been on and off for like months. I think finally we will have this feud, and this makes sense. This makes sense with Karrion's character and with Sami's character as well. Always like losing at the important moments, and Karen Cross essentially being the devil on the shoulder, like always tempting him to become a bad guy again. You also had AJ versus Chad Gable, where I think this could have had 5 minutes more. It was a quick sprint, it was a fine match, but it could have gone a little bit longer. But then you can't fault them for having a small match. Like Gable just pulled double duty at Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank. Like his shoulder was pretty banged up, but AJ got a much needed win. And AJ in a backstage interview said that he doesn't like Judgment Day running their mouths. He doesn't like that Seth's faction got involved in his triple threat match last week. So he's gonna go tell all these people to not mess with him. And I like that, like you have new baby faces getting involved in the Seth faction apart from just the same baby faces for like 3 months. So it is a breath of fresh air, and it also makes them look like a bigger threat, that more people on the roster are like getting affected by by their actions. And overall I would say that apart from that, the women's Queen of the Ring fatal four way was probably, I would say, the more jointed match, probably the more smooth match. But it was smooth to the extent that it felt a little bit too choreographed. But I didn't expect Roxanne to win, where you had Rhea Ripley, Liv, and Kairi Singh. And Roxanne winning made sense, that Rhea Ripley hit Liv with the Riptide, but then Raquel took her out of the ring. Then they started fighting. Kairi jumped on them from the top. Then Kairi went to the ring, hit Liv with an insane elbow, but then Roxanne came, like slid into the ring and rolled up Kairi for the win. So it doesn't make Kairi look weak. Like like the story throughout the match was Liv and Roxanne teaming up to take out the others, and it started with Roxanne helping Liv even though she didn't ask for the help. So they also have good chemistry together. So I like the whole narrative going throughout the match, and the end also made really sense. And Roxanne needed this win. Like since she has officially come to the main roster, like she has been losing a lot. Like I don't remember when was the last time she won a match. And though in a way her losing like didn't really hurt her character, because she has her whole storyline with Judgment Day, but she got the win. She's in the semi-finals, and I'm glad they had a backstage segment also where Liv is essentially pissed off. Talking about pissed off Liv, you had Nikki Bella come back. First, she had like 10 seconds with EO. We are only getting 10 seconds with EO, even though she is world champion. She has not defended her title since Mania. I hope we get a title defense maybe against Liv at NOC or like a Raw, where you can have Nikki Bella like cost Liv the match, but get a defense. Like I don't know what WWE does with the World Heavyweight Championship. Like Gunther was World Heavyweight Champion, he was not defending. Liv was World Heavyweight Champion, she was not defending. EO is not defending her title. And like you have Asuka back also. You had the Asuka video package. She's having a fatal four way next week. I'm curious to see who will win the match. Like probably Vaquer will win. She will probably pin Ivy Nile, but you can have Asuka pin Ivy Nile too, and Stephanie doesn't really lose anything with her not winning that, because I I don't really see. Maybe they can have Stephanie win the Queen of the Ring, but I think Jade will win. So why push Stephanie to the semis or the finals, where eventually you're gonna have her lose anyway. So it's better to have an Asuka pin and Ivy Nile, and you can then have Asuka there. That will make much more sense. Then also you had the tag team stuff, which is nothing. Like New Day had a backstage promo, but they didn't really do nothing. They just said bow down to the New Day and all that. Not really much. And you had the Gunther versus Jay match. I don't think I have missed that much, because what, three matches happened, and you also have like the matches that have been announced for like the King and Queen of the Ring, the Fatal Four Ways. It kind of makes obvious who is taking the pin, but like these matches are matches that you can put on a PLE, and they are like PLE quality. Like King and Queen of the Ring, even last year it showed that you will always get like PLE level wrestling on television, and that will make sure that you know, the time of the show gets filled up, and also it doesn't get boring because it has actual stakes. So I will say this was a pretty good Raw. I will say that the the way that things were executed were maybe not up to mark, maybe not 100%, maybe not to the extent that I would have wanted them to be, but overall a great show. Like this is what you want after a pay-per-view. Like this is the Raw we expect from Triple H. Of course you cannot have these many big moments every week, but at least if you had 3 4 big moments here, you at least expect 2 big moments, 2 big matches, like 2 stories getting further also. Like you had a Nikki Bella Liv Morgan segment where Liv was like, you know, you didn't mention me when you were thanking all the current stars, because you are jealous of me. If I was in your era, I could have won the title anyways, because I have everything that you don't. I have the title, I have a man also, which had a great reaction from the crowd. Nikki Bella also fumbled Stephanie Vaquer's name. She called her Stephanie Vaco or something. But also in the end, when Liv said that, Nikki tried to get into the ring, but Liv hit her with a clean oblivion. And I think what's probably going to happen is we're going to see the Bellas versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez at Evolution. Probably the tag titles are going to get defended there. And I think it's good, because one thing this shows that they trust Liv a lot. Like they, last time Nikki Bella was in a prominent match, like in a singles or a tag prominent match, she was with Ronda Rousey. Like Ronda Rousey, like this shows that they put Nikki Bella star power at a higher level, even though apart from like kids maybe, or like some teenagers, I don't think anyone really reacted to her like coming out, because also it's Nikki's fault also. Like she comes at the Royal Rumble, she gets a great reaction, but then she just goes away. Like you can say that the company is not giving you creative, but you are also not trying that much. Like you are not getting full time back, and that's fine. Like you're not getting full time, like your neck is not right and everything, but you're not there even part time. Like you just come there for the Rumble, not even for Mania. Like right now you have an Evolution, like your star power is needed there, so you're there. Like I think the Bellas have like overestimated their star appeal. Like they had a star appeal, but that was also because they were in the WWE and the show attached to them while they were in the WWE had a big audience. When they left WWE, like they had their own legion of fans, but that was more like whatever the word is, that was more like in their own bubble. They were not like really like reality mega stars or something like that, which they still think that they are. For that they have to keep like even like semi regular appearances in WWE. But I do think this will be a good match. Like Liv is a great wrestler, like she really lays in her stuff. Like you can see in the match, like she really lays in. I think the Gunther versus Jay match, probably the last 5-10 minutes were intriguing. One thing is that Gunther's like kickouts at 2 or like 2.5 like really startle me. The way that he kicks out. I think Gunther was the one that made me engaged in this match. Like everyone was expecting a Seth Rollins run-in, but that didn't happen. So probably we are gonna see like Gunther going into a different direction, and see probably Gunther uh, maybe challenge Goldberg at NOC or at SummerSlam, because I think eventual plan is have Sammy or LA Knight win the World Heavyweight Championship from Gunther, because I didn't expect this. I expected Seth to come out here, cash in, and win the World Heavyweight Championship. But this stuff, like I'm actually like stunned. Like you don't really get surprised or stunned, because but this episode, like this match, this ending made me stunned. I'm happy for Gunther. Like he he hasn't had the best few months. Like his world title reign was not booked well. Like he was never put in after Randy Orton. He was never put in with the big stars. Then he didn't defend his title for a while after Saturday Night's main event. Then he got put into a mid feud with Jey Uso, had a bad match at WrestleMania, tapped out to him. Even his feud with Pat McAfee, in the end, he like raised his hand. I was like, you should have just had him, squash him. But I'm glad that Gunther is back on track. Like, I'm glad that he's just not in purgatory now, which we all expected. Like, and of course, like people were saying, like, oh, he should have signed with AEW. Like, see how much Triple H values him. Like, who would have thought that Gunther will win the World Heavyweight Championship back? And it's baffling that people were calling for Gunther to leave. First, because he can't leave. He just signed a deal with WWE like last year. He got like a tour bus in that deal also, like a 4 or 5 year deal. He has been a champion for like 80% of the time, and even after losing to Jey Uso, he has been in the main event scene on Raw. So win or loss, he has been at the top, and I'm really glad for him. And now I'm really excited to where you know the directions for the multiple stories are going forward. So that was my review. If you like this type of content, like this video, share and subscribe. If you don't, then share it with those who do. My social media accounts, which are my Twitter/X account, my Instagram account, links are in the description, so go follow me on that. My UPI ID link, which is Shabba that OKICICI, is in the description. So go donate any amount of money which you can to make YouTube a permanent career option for me. So that was it for me for today. So thank you, goodbye, alvida.